Hello everybody and welcome to week 4 of our weekly briefing updates. I hope you're all staying safe and well out there. So first of all, I'd like to get straight into clarification on furlough. Initially, when this began, the government gave us some advice that it's 3 weeks is the government minimum time. Maximum time, now they've extended that until June. It was initially May. So there's no set time that we put on it. The 3 weeks is the minimum we can do it, but it could potentially be furloughed continuing until the end of June. We will review the workload and the workflow, whether or not we need more people off or more people back. That depends on, again, the clients we have, the buildings we have, and we do it regionally. So it's down to what workload we have in each region, each zone, and the people we need in those. It's a constant moving target, and whatever we've looked at in the past is changing on a weekly basis. I'd like to address the fact that furlough is not a holiday, and nobody should consider it as a holiday. These are unprecedented times at the moment. Out the back of this, we are undoubtedly going to have more redundancies and not SMS, hopefully, but unemployment and redundancies will be a record high throughout the UK off of the back of this. You can already start to see signs of that for businesses that haven't coped. So furlough is by no means a holiday. It's a means for us to get through the current situation. And for the people that are asking when can we come back to work, that's, again, the positive attitude that we want. We applaud. So thank you. And as soon as we can get you all back, we will get you back. The portal is available now from the government, which is where we submit our applications for furlough. We have managed to, Mel Hearn is dealing with that, and she's now managed to access the portal this week. We haven't, as yet, put our application in for our furlough salaries. We will do that next week, and hopefully everything goes as we expect, and we get the furloughed money for the salaries as requested. And I'll update hopefully next week on how we go with that. We don't envisage any problems, but you never know. We currently have no SMS employees that have confirmed cases, which is fantastic news. And as long as we maintain the guidance we've given in the RAMs and social distancing at work, we don't foresee any confirmed cases happening. If we are unfortunate enough for any of us, then we will review each individual case individually as to what we do with the pay for those people. Nobody should be penalised for having to self-isolate or because they've actually contracted the disease through work activities. We are expecting an additional workload going forward. So I'm currently working with all the account managers and regional managers to look at all of our clients that will require their buildings to be recommissioned. So this will be additional workload that on top of what we already do. And we need to look at how we go about that and what are the quantities of work that we should be expecting. A lot of our clients that are on the ball have already given us an indication of these are the buildings that are currently decommissioned and these are the amount of buildings that we would imagine need to be recommissioned. So we have that from those clients. What we will be doing is sending out a request to all of our other clients that haven't given us indication at this point, to a questionnaire for them to give us an indication, please, now as to whether or not what buildings you have decommissioned, so we know which ones need to be recommissioned from a water hygiene perspective. So once we understand that, we can then start to resource plan that, mobilise that, ready for the reopening of those buildings. That initially we will look to use some of the plumbing team from an engineering side. That we potentially have to get rid of some of the plumbing work and do that work to stay on top of it. We still need to do some of the plumbing work though, so if we need to, we may request overtime from the engineering side of things and the support staff. So this week we will be sending out a request for anybody that would volunteer for overtime, that wants to do overtime. We're certainly not going to enforce overtime, but we've looked to see if anybody is interested in that in the first instance, so that we can start to match up what work we are looking at and what resources we've got available. April, we are now nearly at the end of April. Just over a week left of April. Now, April is the real acid test, real indicator as to how this is impacting us. March wasn't really impacted at all. It was around about the end of March that restrictions started to come in. So we continued throughout March and didn't have a bad March in terms of turnover for the business. So we did well there in March. Clearly there is going to be a huge reduction in comparison to March in April, but we don't know at this stage. We continue to invoice through April. And we won't know until certainly the end of April, beginning of May, what the impact is. So I'm trying to be honest with you, everybody. I don't know what impact it is at this moment in time. We still have supplier costs, we still have overheads. So until we know what work we actually managed to get done in April and how that equates in terms of the invoicing, that's then when we get a true indication of what the impact to the business is going to be. So I'll keep you updated as and when I know that, but we don't know at this stage. Hopefully it's not too bad. Just want to again reiterate what I've said before. It's important during these times, work, home life, stay positive, stay optimistic, try and focus on what you can do, not on what you can't do. Stay away from the negativity and some of the negative stories, concentrate on the positive stories. The example of us, when I think about an operating system, we created Opus that runs the business. The operating system for Opus is the bit that tells the system what to do, how to do it, and it continues, it sticks to what we tell it to do. Make your habits positive, optimistic, and can do. That's your operating system. If you can do that and you remain in those habits, we can all get through this. I look forward to seeing you again all next week. Thanks very much. Speak to you soon.